सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। 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 सर्ववेदान्त सिद्धान्त गोचरं तमगोचरं गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। Let us chant 21st verse. तद्वैराग्यं जिहासाय दर्शनश्रवणादिभिः देहादिब्रह्मपर्यन्ते ह्यनित्ये भोगवस्तुनि। First time we chant together, otherwise once is okay. Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji is elaborating the topic of sadhana chatushtaya, fourfold qualifications. We had seen Viveka, which means the ability to discern between the real and unreal. Brahman alone is real, everything else is unreal. This thought should keep humming at the background of my mind. We have Tanpura Shruti here. Background should be Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. To whatever extent a person has God's grace, Guru's blessings, to that extent this knowledge starts opening up. Second very important quality was Vairagya. Vairagya, we had seen, Ranja means to color. From Ranja comes the word Raga. Wherever my mind gets colored, that is called as Raga, attachment. Vairagya is not allowing the mind to get colored. Not allowing the mind to get colored by objects, person. That ability is called as Vairagya. It's very important to reflect upon this word because we should also be clear what is not Vairagya. Indifference out of bitterness is not Vairagya. Aversion is not Vairagya. Escaping something because it is difficult is also not Vairagya. Superficially, it might seem like it. According to this verse, true Vairagya is independence. Independence from Vishaya, independence from Vyakti. from object and person, that independence is a blessing of this quality called Vairagya. We had seen the importance of Vairagya. Wherever there is attachment, rational thinking gets clouded. Wherever there is attachment, we see things only one-sided. This, if you want an example, if you want to move to some place, and let's say we are attached to that place, we see only the positives. This place is like heaven, next to heaven. That is the role of raga. It will not allow me to holistically think about any topic. So what is the blessing of Vairagya? It brings rational thinking and it helps us evaluate things thoroughly. That is the blessing of Vairagya. We saw this topic because there is a tendency to think Vairagya is only for renunciates. And we will quote Ramcharitmanas also. What was the chaupai? Saban rupa bhaye joga upahasi jaise binu viraga sannyasi. Condition of a spiritual seeker is laughable if it doesn't have Vairagya. But when we see this point, we realize Vairagya is something which is much more prevalent than only to certain group of people. The meaning of that chaupai there is to point out the importance of Vairagya. It is not to say only few people need Vairagya. And if it brings these results, then it is needed for all of us. Another statement in Panchadashi is very beautiful. Avichara kruto bandha. If at any point I feel sorrowful, that means I am thinking incorrectly. If I have a friend whom I really like, and that friend tells me he will come and visit me. I prepared everything, kept my home ready, and last minute he cancels the plan. And I'm miserable because he's cancelled it. Sometimes people cancel without telling you. That's even worst. Now, really speaking, who is responsible for my sorrow? Not the friend. To the extent I am attached to this friend, to that extent I am sorrowful. To the extent I am independent of the friend, if he comes, we will celebrate. If it doesn't come, I am happy. I am also happy. Not I am happy. If it doesn't come also, I am happy. I am okay. That is the greatness of this quality, Vairagya. Whenever I am sorrowful, I should remind myself there is some attachment sitting behind it. More I can address it, better is my ability to handle with objects and people. Handle objects and people. Any scenario, even at work, if I am expecting something, worked hard, no doubt. But I want somebody to say something at least. That your work was good, what you did meant a lot for us. You must have spent a lot of time doing this work, even that statement. And you wait and wait and wait, nobody says anything, they are busy with their work. And nothing has happened outside, everything is fine, job is also okay. And I am miserable amidst this conducive environment. Who is responsible for my misery? Raga. My own attachment to this silent quest for recognition. What is to be appreciated here is, Vairagya is not only from objects. It's also with opinions, also with expectations. Wherever mind is expecting and getting colored, towards that I need Vairagya. Sometimes when we study Advaita Vedanta, our goal is very high. What is it? Self-abidance. And one should have that goal, right? That is what we are here for. But we will recognize or appreciate success in spiritual path is many a times in small, small things. To the extent we can be detached, to that extent we have already started succeeding in the spiritual path. There was one youngster who went to a saint and he said, I want to become a millionaire. This Mahatma Ji was ready to give him steps how to become a millionaire. That youngster said, before you say anything, I have one condition. My condition is, don't tell me small, small things. Tell me that one thing by which I can directly become that. Tell me the last step. This is like, which roti makes you full? Seventh roti. So which one do you want to eat? Seventh one. He said, tell me that final thing. I don't want these basic steps, work hard and this and that. The Mahatma Ji said, we have a garden here. You go to that garden and bring me the best rose. He was ready to go. He said, wait, I have one condition. If you let go of a rose thinking something else is better, you cannot pluck that rose again. When you go to pluck the roses, if you let go of one rose, you cannot bring that rose back to me. So this person went, found one nice rose in the beginning of the garden. But little bit further, another looked better. Went there. When he went there, third one looked better. Like this, he went almost at the end and he said, maybe the end will have even better. So he walked little bit distance, came to the end of the garden. All the roses were wilted, almost about to fall off. Now in that beautiful rose garden, he came back empty-handed. That Mahatma Ji asked him, what happened? You went to bring rose, so many were there. He said, I went there, but what was your condition? If I left one thing, I cannot go back again. And I went to the last and I found wilted roses. He said, this is the answer to your question actually. You wanted that final result, but many a times your success is in the initial smaller steps. That is precisely how sadhana chatushtaya is. We want self-abidance, that is our goal. But where does our journey start? Viveka, Vairagya. And to the extent we can practice this, to that extent this quality is benefiting us. In other words, that result is coming closer to us. Now we had seen 5 aspects of Viveka. What were those 5 aspects? Hetu, swaroopa, karya, avadhi, phalam. Hetu means cause. What is the cause of Vairagya? Cause of Vairagya is thinking deeply. Cause of Vairagya is looking at things as they are. The way a thing looks and what it really is, there is a difference. The way a thing looks and what it really is, there is difference. If I am able to see through it and educate my mind, that becomes the reason for Vairagya. I thought this object is source of joy, but when I look deeply, I realize it also is a source of sorrow. Apply this to objects, apply this to Vyakti also, person also. And don't forget what was the meaning of Vairagya. Vairagya is not bitterness. Vairagya is healthy independence. Youngsters who have social media, many of them share this. The way a thing looks and the way a person's life is, there is a lot of difference. Social media is an innocent example, because all of us can relate. Whatever it looks from outside and whatever it really is, I should have this wisdom to see the difference. And without becoming bitter, make the right choice. Because purpose of Vairagya is not to judge somebody. Purpose of Vairagya is to see things from both sides, not only one side. Otherwise the mind is colored by one view. To help us in this, Shankaracharya wrote Bhajagovindam. So if somebody loves to have people around, is in a position of power, authority. The moment he comes, 10 people are around him to do something. Now that is one-sided. If that gives joy, it is good. What did Shankaracharya say? Yavadvitto parjana saktah tavan nija parivaro saktah paschat jivati jarjara dehe vartam kopina pruchhati gehe. Let's sing the later part also. Bhaja govindam, govindam bhaja mudhamati. This person said, I don't have time to be spiritual. I don't have time for God. Why was it? He said, these things are very nice. He didn't say it, but that was the reason. People who were around him, they were demanding time and attention. Shankaracharya said, have you seen the other side of it? Other side is, until this body is healthy, until we have productive potential, everybody is around. The moment it goes away, people also go away. Instead of realizing at that time that I should have spent time for Govinda, he says, think about it and realize now. So every verse of Bhaja Govindam, for different aspects, Shankaracharya says, this is the other side. And he doesn't tell us what to do. Of course, he tells Bhaja Govindam. Other than that, he doesn't say what to do. He says, decide for yourself. Both viewpoints. So that kind of analysis becomes a reason for Vairagya. Vairagya doesn't come by reading a book. Vairagya also doesn't come by listening to pravachan. It will only tell us how to think. Vairagya will come when I sit down and see this reality for myself. And to some extent, we have to get hit by the world. Then only we wake up. Sometimes people say this, we should teach Vedanta to children. We should teach Vairagya to children. We should, but some things will appeal only when we go through life. Certain things will appeal when we go through it and then we realize, problem is coming because of attachment. If I'm able to fix it, all effects are gone. That is the hetu of Vairagya, knowing things as they are. What is the nature of this thing? Know it as it is. Whenever I think about this topic, I'm reminded of one anecdote Guruji had shared. He went to one village in India, summertime it was. Ambassador cars, rolling windows. It was scorching heat. The person who was there, he said, Guruji, roll up the windows, AC lagayenge. He rolled it up and it was still hot. He was sweating inside. So he asked him, ये AC कैसी है? And he said, ये AC ऐसी है. How is this AC? He asked. And that person said, this is how it is. How much ever it is cooling, be happy with that. We should ask this question, ये दुनिया कैसी है? What is the answer? ये दुनिया ऐसी है, we'll be happy. This is the nature of world. Why is this person like this? This is how he is. What a thing looks and what a thing is. Being able to look deeper. Make right choices. Not allow the mind to get colored by appearance. That is the quality of Vairagya. Main with sense objects. We don't have to become too skeptical of this world. That is not the point. Trust is in its own place, faith is in its own place. What is needed is wherever the mind is getting attached, because of appearance, there it has to look deeper. So Shiva Paradakshamaapana Sutra is another composition for Vairagya. If somebody says one should get freedom from rebirth, many people think, what is the problem in rebirth? Nothing wrong. Then Shankaracharya in detail describes human anatomy. Sometimes you wonder how he had that knowledge, what happens to that jiva in mother's womb, how it stays upside down, everything he describes. What is the bottom line? Vairagya. If somebody thinks there is no harm in rebirth, he says, see the opposite side. Panchagni Vidya is mentioned. Mundaka Upanishad, we saw it. Before we are born as a human being, there are so many places this jiva goes through. Falls down as rain, then goes into food, then goes into father, mother, then becomes bhumishta. What is the purpose of all this? Vairagya. Now, technically you can say, Viveka brings Vairagya. Technically means it's an advanced stage. What did we see in Vairagya? What is real? Om alone is real. What all is included in unreal? Everything else. Vairagya has come? Not necessary. Why do you ask? You looking at me like, We should just think, if I just know real, unreal, if my mind is caught up in unreal, Vairagya will not come. More I think about limitations here. To that extent, some Vairagya will come. One Mahatma Ji says, Vairagya टहलते हुए आती है. Means it goes on an evening walk, comes to our home, shakes hand with us and goes away. Means once in a while we feel that way. That yes, I should not get caught up with these things. But real cause of, practical cause of Vairagya is dosha darshanam, vichara. Pariksha lokan. Examine this world, examine each and every experience in this world. And once you are independent, we are free to respond. That's why the first topic is important. Vairagya is not bitterness, it is not indifference. Okay, hetu of Vairagya. What is swaroopa of Vairagya? Swaroopa of Vairagya is to see bondage in objects. Tadvairagyam jihasaya. Jihasa means yes, very clear knowledge, not again. I have done this in the past, I will not get caught up again. Many times some food item we eat and we suffer. Cold basundi with rasagulla. Deadly combination it is, sugar wise but throat wise also. But it looked so nice. You ate it, got sore throat, fever, struggled for 15 days. Swanubhuti, I am telling you, okay? Struggled for 15 days, then you got okay, 1 month done, went to somebody's home, they tell you, we have made desserts for you. And guess what comes? Cold basundi with rasagulla. What should my mind tell me? Not again. But does it do that? Ramakrishna Paramahansa says, this is the irony. He says, our condition sometimes is like camel eating thorns. That thorn has made its jaw bleed. But after some time, goes to the next bush, eats more thorns. He gives other examples also, but this one is more politically correct example. See, Mahatmas want to communicate a point. They are not interested in other things. But this example you hold on to. He says, if we have experienced something in the past and we have suffered because of it, next time when that thing comes, that memory should be available. That is the swaroopa of Vairagya, jihasa. May this desire, may this enjoyment not come to me. Third one is karya. Karya means effect. What is the effect of Vairagya? Independence. Whenever that thing is present, this person doesn't feel this is a source of joy. That is the effect of Vairagya. Shobhana buddhi, superimposition of joy, is removed. Okay, that is the karya, effect of Vairagya, result of Vairagya. What was the fourth one? Avadhi. Avadhi means perfected state of Vairagya. This perfected state we can find only in Mahatmas. Taponji Maharaj, Avadhi of Vairagya. Smallest comfort looks like luxury for him. And more we keep their examples, we will feel inspired to have 1% of that. To come close to that is very difficult. So many stories are there, Gurudev has also written about the Tehri Maharaj bringing sweets. And Taponji Maharaj's instruction is, their dharma is to give, your dharma is to give away. So take all the sweets, put it in Gangaji. Because you have come here to meditate on Brahman, not on sweets. Because he writes, Gurudev, it was 4 days and still that sweet box had not come out. From Taponji Maharaj's kutir, that box had not come out. So students started getting anxious, that sweet will get spoilt. So 5th day, Taponji Maharaj said, put this in Gangaji. Because you see what it has done. Its very presence made sure that you are thinking only about it. Now remember, Vairagya for a sannyasi and definition of Vairagya for a grahastha is very different. One should not mix it up. But our inspiration should come from them. If you mix it up, lot of chaos will happen. Somebody brought sweet and you took. We did not do any of that. But we have to know how to be independent. Take their examples. That is avadhi. Traditional example is given of a torn cloth. While walking on the street, if a torn cloth is there, how we completely ignore it. It has no use for us. Like that, sense objects don't have any value for Mahatmas. That is the avadhi. Even thinking about their life gives punya. Thinking about their charitra gives inspiration for Vairagya. And the last one is phalam, result of Vairagya. Result of Viveka, if it was Vairagya, what will be result of Vairagya? Shat sampatti. Sixfold inner qualifications. They will come only to a person who has discipline and detachment. When we look at the 6 qualifications, we'll appreciate how it is coming out of Vairagya. First one itself is calming down the mind. Now if somebody has strong attachment towards something and is hoping that I will quieten this mind, he'll struggle. To the extent mind is detached, mind is peaceful and pure, to that extent I can control it. What is that popular statement? Blessed are those who are pure in heart, for they shall see God. So purity of mind is connected with control of mind. They are not two different things. This Shat Sampatti is again very, very important topic, has very widespread applications. I would encourage you all, if you can write it down, these verses 20 to 27. 20 starts with Viveka, right? What was 20th verse? Viveka. All the way until 27th. What is 27th verse in your book? Ahankaradi dehantan. That is the last sadhana chatushtaya, mumukshutvam. So 20 to 27, if you can write. Now let us see the quality of Shamah. 22nd verse. Virajya vishaya vratat dosha drishtya muhurmuhu swalakshe niyatavastha manasashama uchyate virajya vishaya vratat dosha drishtya muhurmuhu swalakshe niyatavastha manasashama uchyate. Manasaha shama uchyate. Simple word, shamaha means ability to quieten the mind whenever I want. Before it takes on the form of a storm, I should have the freedom to quieten it down. Before a cyclone is formed, lot of time is spent in building it up. I might see the storm today, but it started building up probably a month ago. Same with my mind. Shamaha means ability to quieten it down when it's in initial stages. If thought of anger comes, before it becomes a storm, I should quieten it. Thought of jealousy, some ill thought comes about anybody. Before it turns into hatred or dvesha, having the strength to quieten it down. That is called as shamaha. Once it becomes strong, that is like Trunavarta Rakshasa. Truna means blade of grass. Once it enters a storm, where it will come out, you don't know. The blade of grass will not decide. That is how this mind is. The moment it goes into a spiral, if we don't nip it in the bud, it will become like a storm. Then where we will get tossed out, we don't know. That is this quality, Shamah. How do we do it? Virajya Vishaya Vratat. Virajya means by becoming detached. See, detachment has come in Shamah. From what should we become detached? Vishaya Vratat. From the entire assemblage of Vishayas. Vrata means group. What it means is, what is bothering for a sadhaka, that same Vishaya might not be bothering for other sadhaka. So all sadhakas have to look at what Vishayas are bothering them. Many times this happens, when we hear some talk or when we read books, they will talk about some exalted Vishaya from Swarga, or sometimes food example is taken. And we start feeling, oh, I never have attachment towards that. Virajya Vishaya Vratat means I should think, where is my mind getting attached? For some person it might be social media, some person it might be politics, some person it might be people around. So wherever it flies, from there I have to withdraw it. This is the nature of mind. The moment we wake up, it flies away. Shiva Sankalpa Suktam, what is the first mantra? Yajjagrato duramudaiti daivam tadusuptasya tathaivaiti durangamam jyotisham jyotirekam tanme manah Shiva Sankalpamastu. Yajjagrato duramudaiti. The moment you wake up, it flies away. We don't have a choice. And until we go to sleep, it doesn't come back. Fortunately, it comes back when we sleep. Otherwise, imagine, whole life mind is gone somewhere. The only choice is, where does it go? Does it go to that place where I want it to go? My own duties, my work, what I give importance to? Or is it just randomly going around? So to pull it back from randomness and to concentrate it on my goal, that is called as Shamah. Both are important. That's why the second line you see, Swalakshe Niyatavastha. If I pull back the mind, I cannot just leave it there. I have to invest it in my goal. Sometimes people think, I think now it's time to retire. Bahut ho gaya, done a lot, now I should retire. You know what is the question? Of course, it depends on person to person. What is the right time to retire? But one common question is, retire then what? You pull the mind back from work, which is good. But where am I investing it? Mind without a goal will become like a flight with the string cut. It is there, but you don't know where it will fall. Any goal, if there is a teenager, and let's say he doesn't have a goal, it might be career goal, study-based goal, spiritual goal. Some goal should be there. Because if I pull the mind back from something, very quickly I have to give it something else. So one struggle is to bring it back. How do I bring it back? Dosha drishtya muhurmuhu. Again and again reminding this mind about the consequences of going there. Silent conversation should keep happening with the mind. Last time you had this was the consequence. Now don't even think about it. Because Shamaha is mainly at mind level. Moment it starts bringing proposals, this object, that object, very quickly one has to quieten it down. So one struggle is to pull it back, second is to invest it in one goal. That is the beauty of this quality, Shamah. Swami Vivekananda ji, he gives one metaphor to help us understand how chaotic our mind can be. He says our mind is like a monkey which has drunk wine and which has been stung by a scorpion. Means what? Monkey by itself is restless. So mind in general is thinking one thing, going somewhere else, going third place. On top of that, it is intoxicated with desires. So that wine represents desires. And on top of it, it is stung by greed, jealousy, hatred, all those negative tendencies which are there. You see, that is how this mind is. More we acknowledge it, we will appreciate what is the spiritual path. When we say we should purify the mind, it is actually freeing us from the scorpion. When they say reduce desires, it is removing the intoxication. And when they say meditate upon God, that is making this monkey mind calm. All these things are part of this sadhana. Okay, in simple words, what is Shamah? Ability to control the mind. It might have an urgent need to do something. Check the phone multiple times, scroll something without reason. Before my hand goes there, if mind can quieten it, quieten that thought, that ability is Shamah. More I put effort initially, greater is the result as we go by. Just like that rose story. We might want big things, but spiritual life success is in the small things. How I am able to quieten my mind. That is called as Shamah. More you can think on your own. Okay, practical applications. I've been updating the questions also for Vivekachoodamani in that document. You can use it for your own reflection. How is Shamah helpful in resolving conflicts? You can do mananam. What is that quality? How to handle criticism, provocation gracefully. Which quality will help us? Shamah. Then comes Damah. Shamah is at mind level, Damah is at sense organ level. Let us see the meaning. Vishayebhyah paravartya sthapanam swasvagolake ubhayeshamindriyanam sadamah parikirtitah. Vishayebhyah paravartya sthapanam swasvagolake ubhayeshamindriyanam sadamah parikirtitah. Vishayebhyah paravartya, stopping the sense organs from going towards sense objects. Sthapanam swasvagolake, placing them back to where they should be. These are all poetic expressions. Our eyes don't go out and follow some sense object, but as though it has stolen the mind. Haranti prasabham manah. The indriyas which are there, they are so powerful. If you are not alert, They will hijack the mind. And the problem is, all my wisdom lives in the mind. So if mind is hijacked, what am I devoid of? All the wisdom that I've learnt. That is why Vishayebhya Paravartya, withdrawing the sense organs from sense objects, placing them back. Sthapanam Swasva Golake. Ubhayesham Indriyanam. Both the sense organs, means organs of perception and organs of action. Both of them, keeping them well controlled, that is called as Damah. Let's take example of one organ of perception. Which example should we take? Eyes, let us say. What will be Damah at eye level? Being very alert about what we see. Bhadram karne bihi shrunuyama devaha bhadram pashyema. May we see auspicious things. With children, we are so alert, right? Do we show them all kinds of movies or only appropriate movies? Appropriate. That is Damah. But parents can be relieved only when the child takes up that responsibility. Damah cannot be enforced from outside all the time. Because if inner desire is very strong, in spite of outer rules, one will find ways to satisfy that desire. So rules are helpful, but they are not the only things. What is Damah at ear level? Being very careful about what we hear. Paraninda, somebody else's criticism, one did not hear. All Puranas, so much of elaboration is given. Satiji's Prasanga we have to read. There she says, one did not hear Paraninda, criticism about others. That is Damah at ear level. Now let us take example of organ of action. Best one is speech. Out of all organs of action, best example is speech. Mind might feel so much anger, boiling inside to say something. But this person says, there are certain boundaries I will not cross. Doesn't matter what my mind says, speech will not cross certain boundaries. Certain type of language I will never use. Certain tones of voice I will not reach. That's a great quality of Damah. One good example for this is diplomats. Two countries which are at loggerheads, who cannot see eye to eye, have differences in every policy. And they might have had heated discussions. But you see their public statement. We are making strides, significant strides in progress in the benefit of both nations. And you wonder, what did he say? By the time you understood, he has already gone from there. These qualities, I'm not saying they have learned from Vivekachoodamani and Tattva Bodha. Because I mentioned in one place, somebody said after the class, does it mean that they are all spiritual because, they have this quality? Not necessary, but we can learn good qualities from everybody. If you hear this CEOs who speak in front of the Congress, it's very nice to analyze their speech. Not one word more, not one word less. What is that quality? Damah. Now in that case, Damah is coming because of a strong identity they have owned up. I represent this organization. Well-being of that organization is my responsibility. Based on that, Damah they are able to practice. But we can think of it more in a family environment. In front of children, how should we be resolving conflicts? That is one expression of Damah. It should be in a way that it sets an example for them how they should be resolving conflicts. Right? If that conflict comes in their life, our way of resolving should set an example for them. So that ability to not cross certain boundaries, in spite of mind losing control, that quality is called as Damah. And it will save us from a lot of regrets. How many times we have said things and later regretted? Only if, in the spur of the moment, we had not said those things. What will save us from that regret is Damah. Ubhayesham indriyanam sadamah parikirtita. So Shamah is at mind level, Damah is at sense organ level. If I feel like checking my phone and I quieten it down by bringing all the analysis, thinking, whatever it takes, what is that quality called as? Shamah. If I keep away my phone, what is that called as? Damah. Because I am regulating my sense organ. And both are needed. Every time we cannot rely on Shamah. Sometimes Damah is needed, it will strengthen Shamah. And more we increase Shamah, it will help us in Damah. Both are needed. Okay. Ubhayesham indriyanam sadamah parikirta. There is another line, right? Bahya analambanam vruttehe. Bahya analambanam vruttehe. That we will see in the next session, because that's a different quality, Uparati. So what is your homework before the next session? Write down 20th to 27th verse. Don't copy paste. If you have difficulty with Devanagari, you can do transliteration. That is fine. But writing down has its benefits. Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.